right. What's going on, people? How are y'all doing today? Okay, how are y'all doing today? Listen, this is your girl, Derry. And of course, welcome to When Kings Talk, okay? I got some wonderful kings in the building that are about to blow your mind today. And our episode for today is Who Gives the Black Man Permission to Feel? I got my brother who can capture your very moment. All right, kid. I got the doc. I got the goat, Stephen, in the building. And I got Bishop. Bishop Bay, okay? All right. I love these folks. Really, I really do. And so listen, Kings, I'm gonna start off with you, kid. How would you define a black man? What does it mean to be a black man?
Powerful. I feel like being a black man. I feel like a superhero, and I don't mean that. I don't say that just to say it. If you look back to where a black man actually comes from, and what we're taught and what we have overcame, and what the people before us have overcame. It feels good. Especially like it feels good on the bad days and the good days. Because on the bad days, nobody is expecting you to overcome the challenges of being a black man. But not only do you overcome them, but you overcome them and you continue to grow. So that right there gives me superpowers. It's dope being a black
I hear you. Um, Stephen, brother, what does it mean to be a black man?
Um, everything that my brother Kid said, but also I believe being a black man means being a survivor. Um, we've as people of color, black men and women, we've had to survive some gruesome things. And one thing I can say about us and about since we're talking about black men is that we can survive in any situation. Like, you give us a situation and we'll survive in it. And not only will we survive in it, we'll turn around and take what you meant to be like you throwing dirt over us. We're gonna grow up out of it. You know what I'm saying? We can persevere. Perseverance comes when I think about being a black man. I think about being strong, leadership, and some of the most brilliant minds in the world, black men, you know what I'm saying? Our sisters too, but we talk about black men, especially it's Women's History Month, so our sisters invited them around in there too. But some of the strongest and best ideas and minds are black men. Black men are strong, as Yvette just said there. It's so much wrapped in that question of what is a black man, because it's like Ken said, it's like a superhero. It's like a superpower. It's like there's nothing we can't do, and anything is almost like a superpower, because we can take anything and turn it into something better. So we're innovators, we're creators. Like it's just an endless list of what goes on, but we're also resilient. Like it's I don't want to take everything away, but it's a lot included in saying what is a black man. But I believe that in a gist of it, I can say we're survivors.
I like that, survivors. Bishop, tell me, what does it mean? What does it mean to be a black man? You said Land Foundation. What does it mean to be a black man?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, just because we started. But to be a black man is to be a king. Is to be the like Kid said, the alpha. Is to be that one that is. I don't want to use the word superior, but it's that one. Like, there's such a uniqueness that comes with being a black man. There's so much pride that can come from being a black man, because we move different. We behave different. Our intellect, our abilities, our wit, the way that we process things, it's on a whole different scale. It's an honor.
That's the word. It's an honor.
Yeah.
And so, you guys, I'm going to play this clip for you guys because see, at Unmute Yourself, we're gonna give credit where credit is due. And I don't want y'all to think good old Derry done came up with this beautiful title because I did not. Okay, this is from Preston Perry. He did a poem called "Who Gives a Black Man Permission to Feel," and I really hope that you guys listen to this poem. It's 3 minutes. It's in the middle of it. What you will hear him catching is where he's talking about his attending his uncle funeral. And so this is like the first time he was taught not how to feel. So I pray that this bless your life. Hold on, because I cried a few times.
He was cold, hard, numb, void of emotion, just like his environment taught him to be when he was alive. Groups of women in my family took turns screaming in unison like a choir of grieving mothers. But all the men in my family sat in the pews, still as stone, trying not to crumble, pretending not to be broken. They were also lifeless. The only difference between their faces and my dead uncle was the occasional tears escaping their eyes like runaway slaves down the field of their cheeks. There is no scene sadder than hurting men, afraid to be hurting men in public. The second time I was taught how not to feel, it was during his repast. My heart was still confetti, still learning the beats of the rhythm of my uncle being gone. My older cousin, who experienced too many deaths in his young life, said, "Boy, why are you still crying? Don't you know it's time for you to be strong for your family? Your mother doesn't need a weak man in the house at this time." My tear ducts dried up and became a deserted land. And in all my years, the men in my life have taught me that my emotions is a disease because where I'm from, showing the wrong emotions might get you killed, or worse, you will live in the shame of being human. For so long, I thought my emotions were weakness. It took 2 years into my marriage for my wife to see me cry once, and when she did, I thought I failed her. I thought she doesn't need a weak man in the house at this time. She doesn't need a husband so human. The first time I was taught how to feel, I was in counseling. I was sitting on a chair that felt nothing like home. My heart was sitting on my lap, bare and bleeding, vulnerable for the first time. I was processing my soul to a trained therapist who knows God and knows broken people like me well. She said, "Preston, you have been set free from your sin, but you haven't been set free from the sins others committed against you," she said. "I'm here to help you be set free from the lies of your childhood," she said. "Being able to mourn properly is a gift from God that you are afraid to receive." And I see now that a man mourning doesn't make him weak. It keeps him alive. It keeps his insides from becoming a funeral. When grief comes out, it makes room for life to come in. For so long, I've been holding my breath in fear that breathing will make me look like less of a man. Not considering the God who made my lungs or the air that feeds them. Where I'm from, no one points us in the direction of counseling. So what are we to do with all this trauma trapped in our bodies? This last year, God has shown me that it's not just his job to make me his, but he's using therapy to make me whole. This is the end of the poem, because I don't have this emotion thing all figured out yet. But I know one day God will complete the work that he started in me. And on that day, I will smile like no one's watching. I will laugh like I found a fistful of joy. And I will cry. Y'all, I will cry whenever I feel like it. Who gives a black man permission to feel? Jesus has. Jesus will. Thank y'all.
Woo!
Oh man.
Listen, boy.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Isn't that, man? Who, Jesus? I cried the first 2 times. I ain't gonna cry this time. I'm on camera. But listen, I thought that poem, it was too good not to, you know what I'm like, where can I start? But Kev, back to you, brother. Like, I know that he says Jesus has given not just all of us, but you know, men in particular to feel. However, he also mentioned like counseling, going to counseling and stuff. So who else can we have within the community to also assist helping young men have permission to feel? And you can say how you feel about that poem too.
When it comes down to feeling, I feel like coming up, I think we had this conversation before. Uh, some men were taught not to feel. Some men were taught that emotions are not to be showed. But I feel like as you grow from a cub to a man, you realize you need that to be alive. You need that to stay sane. You know what I'm saying? For your sanity, you need that. So I feel like it starts with the man. Once I get it, I'm gonna be that safe place for Steven. Once Steven get it, we're gonna, continue to lay that foundation for the next man. So it starts with, what I'm saying, just not just the black man, but it starts with the man. Once you get it, become a safe place for another man. You know what I'm saying? And once we get it, we'll be here for each other. And then so on and so on, we'll show other men that it's okay to cry. It's okay to have emotion. It's okay to have feelings. So to answer your question, man, it starts with the man. It starts with you.
How you feel about that poem, brother?
Man, it's deep, man. It's real deep. Jesus helps us through it all.
Yeah.
That's my response to it.
No,
Yeah.
I understand. Listen, that poem had me speechless too.
Yeah.
Stephen, brother, who gives the black man permission to feel?
Like Preston said in the video, we of course we know Jesus gives us. He died for us to have a permission to feel, and I believe outside of that, like Ed said, growing up, you're taught not to feel. You're, depending on where you come from, or some people might not have had that experience, but a lot of men that I know, you're taught not to have to be able to feel. So when I hear the question, "Who gives a black man permission to feel?" To me, I respond with that with whoever gives the black man permission to be vulnerable, because I believe because it's a scary thing for black men to be vulnerable because of the way they're, like Preston talked about it in a poem, where I'm gonna be picked at for being human, so because we're you know um not afraid to be vulnerable, but reluctant to be vulnerable in certain situations because of the way responses are in society to things. Black men don't give themselves permission to feel because of that, right? But like Ed said, that permission has to first start within you. You have to give yourself permission to feel, no matter what others might think, or that, and that's hard. And sometimes the only way to get through that is, like Preston said, through therapy, because it's not easy to reconstruct or reroute or reroute thinking that you've had for 20 some odd years, 30 some odd years, or even longer. When you're conditioned to think in a certain way, sometimes it's tough to just jump ship and go over to, okay, now I need to be vulnerable and open and express my feelings and be able to cry when I want to. When I not even when I want to, when I need to cry, I need to be able to cry. And that's not easy. And so I can understand what he's saying. Therapy. I've been to therapy myself. Like, you need somewhere to be able to let that out. And also, I believe with black men being able to let out their feelings, they need a safe place to do that. And that's not always where they're at, or the people around them. That's why therapy, going to somebody else that might not have no relational ties to you, that you can be able to open up to and express yourself, and not have a reluctance that, me sharing with you, you're going to take my vulnerability for granted.
Yeah, I think a lot of times too in the black community in general, but because this episode is dealing with black men, I think it's about who can a black man heart be safe with in that moment that they are going through things, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest thing. Dave, what do you think? Who gives the black man permission to feel?
Honestly, they said it. It starts with the man himself. If you don't give yourself permission, nobody is going to give it to you. Like nobody's going to get it for you. It's about taking accountability as being a man, exercising your authority even over your own life, making sure that my life is in order in every way. Because as a man, we have to remember too that even being head of households, we're leaders of that household, even emotionally. So if my own mental health is out of whack, if I'm not emotionally put together myself, how I can't be there for my wife when she's having issues. I can't be there for my daughter if she's having issues. And so just making sure that you've allowed that space for yourself as a man to be able to feel, because nobody's going to give it to you. Because we don't work good under pressure, like being forced into doing anything. And we don't respond well to it. It's not, if you want a black man to do something, the way to do it is not to force him or to make him feel uncomfortable in doing it, because he's going to be reluctant and he's going to put walls around himself the whole time, and then you would never get what you're looking for. So he has to be willing within himself to open up and be like, yo, this is the path that I want to go down. The poem speaks to everything that I feel in my heart.
Yes.
And this is stuff that I didn't become aware of until like last summer. And it was just like, I have to be able to be an emotionally available man. Like I can't, because I was raised like barbarian style. You don't cry. You don't cry. You don't do certain things as a man. You don't get to feel because you're a man. Man, we're not emotional beings, so we don't tap into our emotions. You're a warrior. You fight and you fight until it is what it is. Ain't no tears. You swallow them tears up and you keep pushing. And so growing up that way made me very hard and difficult and whatnot, what have emotions. My mom used to have to like drill things out of me, like, what is wrong with you? Like, why won't you talk to me? And I would just sit there. And sometimes I would just sit there and I would just cry, and I would feel bad for crying, and it would make me feel even more ashamed. So knowing that I had that freedom, like he was talking about in the poem, it opens up so much more for me. So
Yeah, I think the freedom of I think the freedom of allowing men to really be let them know that their feelings matter. You know, like I think I read a post and a guy he said sometimes fellas all you have to say is that hurt my feelings. You know,
Yeah,
and people was like, that's all you gotta say, you know. So I wanna tie this into this question here. And Cad, brother, you can start. When it comes down to black men, how did that do you believe got started? Who initially robbed the black men of feeling?
Uh,
That's a good question.
it is a good question. It's a great question. But I feel like that started with the man. You know, somebody's father wasn't there. Somebody's father was there. Somebody's father told them, "Hey, you need to go ahead and tuck that away." You know what I'm saying? And it just dominoed effect all the way up till today. Somebody daddy told them, "Man, you need to cut that out." You know what I'm saying? You can cry later, but crying ain't gonna get you to where, what I'm saying, your next stage. But it really is, because I need to get this out. I think he said, um, you need to cry it out so life can come in. And that's important. Some people feel, some guys were taught not to cry, but you never know. That crying might help me go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? I need to get this out of my system, because if I don't, I'm gonna be moping around all day, wondering if somebody gonna look at me sideways because I want to cry and get this out. Maybe not even cry. I just need to vent. I
Yeah,
need a safe place to vent.
yeah.
So yeah. So to answer your question, I feel like that started with somebody else's father.
I
Somebody else.
No, bro, I feel you. Stephen and the Bay, you definitely can chime in on this because I would say, in my opinion, maybe society. Like what they build in, maybe in TV shows, whatever. I feel like maybe society can play a part in that. Stephen, what's your thoughts about it? Who would you say initially robbed, for the black man to feel safe to speak?
Um, I say them clear folks robbed us. Um, you got to go back. We're talking about black men, so that's a mostly American term for a race that they made up because black isn't technically a race, neither is white. These are terms that was coined because of America and slavery. So you got to go back to the beginning. We were stole from our country, from our land,
Yeah.
and forced into slavery. And part of slavery was the breaking of the black man. Because why? They were scared of you because they knew that you were stronger than them. You like we said, we're a superpower. So
Yeah.
they can see the greatness in you. And the only way we can keep y'all from overthrowing us is we got to break. It's like like an animal. We got to break you down. We got to break you down. And so the beginning of who stole the confidence out of the black man has to go all the way back to slavery because they broke our spirits there. And we still had strong spirits. And like I say, we're survivors. We survived out of everything. But the beginning of who tried to steal what? Slavery. Clear.
I was gonna let somebody else take that piece. I was gonna touch on it, but I wanted somebody else to take that.
Clear folk.
What
Yeah,
is clear folks? I think that's gonna be the
because I wouldn't have
line
said
for
clear
today.
folk, so it would have been good for somebody else because I wouldn't have said clear folk.
That clear folks. No, I definitely hear you, brother, on that one. You talking about the identity of a black man in that sense, and even changing your name because we all know how powerful names are. So I definitely hear you on that. Devay, which one we going with? What you got to add on that one?
I'm gonna go back a little bit further, back into Bible days. We even see in people like Elijah that severe depression and suicide. Um, he literally was so jacked up in his space mentally that he went and ran and hid in the cave. And another particular instance was sitting under a tree begging God to kill him because he just didn't want to be here anymore. And so when I think about it that way, I'm looking at different scenarios to where even at that moment, he didn't feel like there was anywhere for him to go. He didn't trust anywhere. Like he didn't trust anywhere. He didn't trust anybody. He didn't have a support system anywhere. He was isolated and he felt like he was by himself. So if I can go back a little bit further, I feel like a lot of power, and I don't want to get too churchy tonight, but I feel like a lot of power got stripped in the fall before mankind and the fall of Satan, because I feel like even to a certain extent, those third of the angels that got dismissed from heaven with him didn't have an opinion in the matter. It was, you rock with me, you've been in this environment with me, so we're out of here together. And you don't really have that choice. So the power of really having your own identity has been abandoned since that moment, because Satan was in that thing and he had a whole cluster of people that flocked to him, cluster of angels that flocked with him, fallen ones, and they went for it. And to me, it goes back. Like I see it even in the garden when Adam, like when he's hiding from God. Like, why, Adam, where are you? What are you hiding from? You're ashamed and you're embarrassed and you don't even want to talk to me and let me know that you were disobedient. Like you feel that shame already, and I don't know why. Like, you can talk to me, we fellowship consistently, but you don't even trust me enough to tell me that you messed up. And that goes back to a man being able to be like, I can't identify with anybody. I can't identify with anything. So how am I supposed to feel? How am I supposed to maneuver? How am I supposed to know that I'm okay?
Rev, that's good right there, Rev.
just came full circle from the modern day to slavery all the way back to Adam.
Listen, Bishop, I'm trying to tell you, he got elevated. But I'm happy that he did bring it back around to the church, because our next question, Ked, is this right here. Do you think the church has failed in cultivating men to have healthy emotions?
In some ways, because you're taught. Well, I ain't gonna say you're taught. Some churches, they look at the man like, once again, tuck your emotions away. You got a family to take care of. You got to be the head of the household. So we really ain't got time to hear what you feeling, but we know what you need to do. We know what you need to do. We don't care about how you feel. You got to go home and be the man. Don't even bring back your feelings. I was gonna say bring them back later, but don't bring them back. Come back whenever you ready to be the man of the household. And I feel like some churches has taught that, and they stand by that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
That's good. I feel like sometimes too that many times in the church is taught to just be a leader, but a good leader has good emotions as well. They can tap into their emotions, where when to be gentle, but at the same time to be, affirmative, and I don't think people know how to navigate that. But Stephen, brother, what are your thoughts? Do you think the church has failed in cultivating men to have healthy emotions?
So I've been in church 9 months before I was born. So I've been in church all my life, right? And so I've seen a lot of church.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that I believe that the church has failed men in cultivating their feelings. The reason I say that is because now we're just starting to come out of that kind of stuff. In recent years, we're starting to be more open, and people are saying like, you need to cultivate, your feelings, and we need to make healthy, positions for men. But from my coming up for 20 plus odd years in church, I can say that the way men were in church, it was either they had no power, as in the fact that they were so on the back burner to they were ran over, and they had no voice, no voice and no say. Or I've been in situations where I've been a part of a church where the pastor catered toward men, but at the same time he belittled women. He didn't elevate women, so it was one side or the other side. It wasn't until I got to my church, the first church, to where my pastor, Pastor Joey, and that I see a healthy relationship of men trying to uplift and hold one another accountable, and bring us out of the old mentality of how we grew up, and how whatever things were going on in the past, and bring us into the freedom of what Jesus has given us to be able to feel and heal and whatever we need to do. So I do feel like the church has failed men in their cultivating of men, but I believe we're in a new era where we're now starting to understand that mental health is important. We can't skip over this, you know what I'm saying? And we have to go in another direction. So yes, I do believe the church has failed, but I believe they're on a path to trying to make it better.
No, I totally agree with that one, brother. Especially like you said at our church, it's good to see men not just hold other men accountable, but actually care for one another. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a beautiful thing as well. And I do believe that there is a shift happening, just like it is a shift happening with mental health, where you can have Jesus and therapy. And one of the things that I love that Preston said was many times in the Black community as a whole, people think that if you say you need therapy, that Jesus is not enough. And that's not the case at all. So I thought that was beautiful what he said, but I couldn't play everything he said in there, you know. But
Yeah, but that's good though.
yeah, it
You
is.
know, people be like, yeah, I need to go talk to a therapist. Jesus ain't good enough for you?
Yeah.
I didn't say that. I need somebody to talk to. Like, I'll talk to Jesus. I
Yeah.
can't talk.
Yeah. Yeah, that is something that I feel like as a community we have to break out of and everything. But DeVay, same question. Do you think the church has failed in cultivating men to have healthy emotions?
100% agree. Yes. And yeah, the church has not been effective in making a man feel like he can be emotional person without making him feel like he's a homosexual. You can't talk about emotions. You can't talk about feelings. You can't talk about anything that's going on with you without being deemed as gay. And so it's just like, as a man, how are you supposed to feel? It's like compartmentalized because your wife is the emotion bearer, you're the everything else bearer. You take care of bills, you take care of the house, you take care of cars, you take care of all these things, but you leave the emotions to the woman. That's their thing. That's their job. It's her job to be emotional. I don't know where that teaching came from, 'cause I don't see that in my Bible. And then the Bible also explicitly states that in the multitude of counsel there is safety, so you need a therapist. I'm a firm believer that I don't I don't understand why people think that the presence of therapy is the absence of Christ. And I think that people, you know, people are intimidated by what they don't know. And so a lot of times when you encounter somebody that has the potential that has more wisdom than you, or is a little bit more smarter than you, or can actually give somebody a true breakthrough and you're not capable of, you'll shun it. And so, because so long the church has operated, unfortunately, under a spirit of intimidation, it makes it hard for them to see things outside of these four walls. So we don't have therapists inside the church. They're not listed in the Bible as part of the fivefold ministry, so they don't matter. This is a man-made thing. Um, I need somebody. David had Jonathan. Like, I need a therapist. You need to have that outlet. You need to have that place where you can go and be safe. Even I feel like Jesus had a whole squad of 12 people around him. He was able to be himself around them. And so it's just like you need that counsel. You need to have that safe place to be able to go and be fine. But the church is changing. Not all of them. Some of them are changing. Some of them are changing and understanding that it's okay for you to cry. There is nothing that makes my heart more glad because I'm a mental health advocate at this point in my life. And I feel like to see even me and being emotional in worship like that is a beautiful sight and like in God's eyes, because this is what he's called us to. But once you've gotten to the point where God can break you and he can make you cry that good ugly cry that you be trying to hide your face afterwards, he's got his grip on you, and that's what he wants. So the ultimate goal is, church ain't did so hot in the past, but we're coming better.
Listen, Bishop, you over here preaching, teaching, and all of y'all just going in order, okay? It's just a good flow. But no, fellas, I want to go to the last banger of the question, because I do think that sometimes in life you can have something. You don't have to be super long for it to be juicy or needed. You know what I'm saying? And so I am very appreciative of this show right now because I really feel like people can gain something from it. So Ked, I definitely want to start with you, bro. How can we make sure a Black man properly healed from the emotions he would never design to carry?
Almost kind of like the answer I gave you to the second question. Becoming a safe space for another brother. If all men have a safe space to go to, we can eliminate this. You shouldn't have emotion. You shouldn't have feelings. So as long as I'm a safe space for DeVay and Stephen, Us three can come together and be a safe space for three more guys, and those six can go be for another three. So continue learn how to be a safe space for another brother and embrace that. What I'm saying? Let him know, like, hey, you can come to me. We can talk about this. It's a safe place. Your business is not gonna leave here. What we talk about is what we talk about. If you need to break down and have that ugly cry, like Harry was talking about, have that ugly cry. It's okay. I'm not gonna judge you. I might cry with you, but after that cry, life is gonna be able to come in once again, and we're gonna build and build and build and go save three more other brothers. So become a safe space for another brother, and we can eliminate this.
That's good, bro. Stephen, same question. How can we make sure a black man properly healed from the emotions he was never designed to carry?
Following kind of in the same thread as Ked said, I believe we have some of us have to become martyrs for emotion, to show the emotion so that others can see that it's okay to be emotional. Like, it's one thing to tell another brother, hey bro, if something wrong, come talk to me. And that could be all true, but it's another thing if that brother can see you emotional or crying or being able to express yourself. I in one of my poems, I say, I'm me, love it or like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've come to a place to where if I want to sing Hannah Montana, I am going to sing Hannah Montana loud. Like I've always been a little different, right? And so people used to look at me weird even when I wasn't saved, because I had 15s in my car, TVs, music, the lights, and everything, and I'll ride around in the hood playing rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they look at you like, what is you playing? Like, what is you doing? Like, if I want to do something, I'm not afraid to let somebody else see that, I'm free enough to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? I want to sing along with the little
Van
chip
Halen.
the little chipmunks when they singing, all the singer ladies. And I'm in that mug singing too. You know what I'm saying? Because I can be free. And if we can be free to allow other people to see that, hey, listen, it's okay to be emotional. It's okay that if you're grieving that you need somebody to talk to. It's okay that if something's going on to you in your life, you have somebody you can go and talk to, because I'm showing you that I'm free enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I believe, like I could say, we need to be the martyrs for emotions, in order so that we can allow, like Ken say, a safe place for another brother. Because if we don't do that, then it's talk alone. You know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, let's come over here to men's meeting, and I'm gonna teach y'all the word, and we go through a Bible session, and now I done taught you the word, but there was no camaraderie where people feel like I let you in on my life and what's going on with me, and that we can feel that there's a bond enough that we can open up to each other. If we don't have that safe place, as he said, that we can show others that we are ourselves are free, not free from I don't have a problem or anything like that, but free in the sense that I can share what I'm going through with you freely and not feel like I have to bottle it all up, or like my brother said, that I'm a homo just because I need a shoulder to cry on, because I need a hug. You know what I'm saying? Like that don't make me gay because I tell you I love you. You know what I'm saying? And you my brother. So we have to show that first. You know what I'm saying?
That's
good. And even down in the comments, I think her name is Shanika. She said, starting with the young boys, after we as men get it, that's important. And I talk to my wife all the time about starting a ministry to where we go out to these schools, and talk to these young black men about emotion and just everything, because ain't nobody teaching them now. When I was in school, sports and stuff like that was jumping. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't wait to go, But now, man, these kids is cold. They stone cold. They don't care about emotions and none of that. So it's really important that we do reach out to our youth as grown men and let them know that it is okay, for you to feel the way that you feel. It's okay for you to go to your homie and say, man, that hurt my feelings. You know, it's okay for you to do that. Because if we don't reach out to them now, man, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Being a teacher, okay. Just being
Yeah.
it's already ghetto. One thing you realize being a teacher, and if any of my sisters, women that are teacher or even men, one thing you realize for sure is that these kids' attention span is like terrible.
Ooh.
And then the second thing you realize is that their emotions are trapped somewhere that I don't know if we don't get a hold of this now. I don't know how we're going to unlock it because it's going to be too many keys
Yeah.
to go into because they don't know how to care properly. The only thing that they care about is games.
You know how I see the kids' emotion. Yeah, you know the little game brick where you shoot the little ball and it hit and it come back down. You got to keep moving the little thing to catch the ball, right? When you start off, that's slow, but at a certain time, if you can get that thing to hit an angle, it'll just rattle.
Knock everything down.
And
Yeah.
that's how these kids' emotions are. If you get it at the right angle, it's just gonna rattle, and you're gonna get whatever their wrath is. And they, like you say, they cold blooded. They don't care. They're gonna give it to you just the way it's coming out. So like it like you say, it's trapped. It's trapped in them.
Debate. You got anything you want to add before I ask you the question? But anything you want to add to what was just said though?
No.
No.
I mean,
Okay,
you got to target the youth. Yeah, you have to
no.
at a young age.
Yeah, no, I just had to make sure because look, I had to go through my little rant with that one because these so just play video games, bring the controllers to school, and I'm just like, where is the learning? But I like what Miss Shanika said that the only time they cry is when the judge is giving out sentences, and I have seen. Being a JPO, I have seen people, children. That's when they cry, and I think that's what I'm saying. How can we get to them before they even get to that point? But Devay, same question for you. How can we make sure a Black man properly healed from the emotions he was never designed to carry?
So 3 A's for this, all right?
Okay.
3 A's. The man first has to acknowledge that he is hurt and that he is damaged. He has to accept that, and then he has to appreciate it. Without acknowledgement, without acceptance, and without that appreciation, you won't be able to heal. And appreciation comes from that place of knowing that I don't have it all together and it's okay. I've been broken and it's okay, because in the areas where I've been broken in, somebody else has broken, and so now I can take my wounds, the scars that I have, I can take those on to be somewhere else. I can take those on to be a blessing to somebody else and to teach somebody else, especially even with the kids, because I mean, and just in general, you see people that have not had these experiences or have not had that outlet growing up, and they are angry now. Black men with the bottled up emotions are angry. We have no boundaries. We have no barriers. We are angry. And it doesn't matter how it comes out. It doesn't matter who it comes out on. We are angry. We'll punch a hole in the wall. We'll shoot you. We'll whoop your behind if you're the wrong one on the right day. And so all it takes is, like my brother's already said, to have that safe space. If you can't find a safe space, you gotta like try really hard to be connected to somewhere where you can go. And even if you have a hard time, like I know something that I had to do for a minute when I felt like isolated before I started therapy, I just started writing everything down. When I was having those days when my emotions were all over the place and I just wanted to lose it, just write everything down until I was okay going to talk to somebody. Because sometimes you can have a safe space, but not knowing how to properly like articulate how you feel is also another issue that we have. So, but yeah, acknowledge, accept, and appreciate.
Acknowledge, accept, and
man.
appreciation.
Check your and you know, men, check your spaces, check your circles, because if you can't go to your friends and be like, man, I can't explain what I'm feeling, but I just, you know what I'm saying? If you can't go to your friends, the people that you hang with every day, and really express yourself, then you don't need to be there. If they're gonna put you in the category as being, gay, or you too soft, like, you're not my friend in the first place. Because as DeVay said, like, black men will just be mad at anything. That particular day, you might just catch these hands just on this day. But I'm saying all this out of anger. And them decisions that you make out of anger, you can't take that stuff back when you stand in front of the judge, because he don't want to hear that. He ain't gonna want to hear that. It's too late then. So, check your spaces, check your circle, because like I said, if you can't go to that person that you hang with every day and express your feelings, I'm loose.
Yeah. You guys, if y'all want some comments, y'all want some questions asked, y'all more than welcome to ask them.
I agree with what I think her name was Aisha. It just went off. Women are not to blame, and I don't believe women are the answer of be more woman to help man.
No.
Like that is not the way the Bible don't even go. It doesn't even put the hierarchy in that way. That man supposed to be more man for that woman. It's not, the other way around. So it's more of men's responsibility to help other men, or to grow up other men, or help try to fix this situation, than it is to try to put it on ladies, to say, hey, ladies, help cultivate this man, help push this man along, help bring this man along, whatever. Like, no, that ain't your responsibility.
No,
let God deal with that man, and let another man deal with that man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't. That's not her role and her job. We're supposed to be protectors and coverings over her. Like, what is she doing, reaching up, trying to cover us? So I definitely don't believe the answer is woman be more woman so the man can be more man. Like,
definitely not. It's not. And some single men might not understand that, but the married men definitely understand what that means. So to piggyback on what Stephen said, definitely we are not saying woman be more woman. We are not saying that.
It's not one of the ultimate superiorities I believe that a man has over the woman is the ability to own your everything. You are responsible. You have to be an accountable man for yourself, for your feelings, for everything. So it's not, the woman doesn't sit in the seat of being the emotion bearer for you. Because again, even as one of the things as head of the household, leader of this household, of course, again, you have to be able to be led emotionally. And I don't think that that's something that's taught. It's always you lead in certain areas, but never emotionally. If you can lead your household emotionally, you get whatever you want to from your wife. You can get, because now you're not only that man that's around the house that can take care of the house and that's gonna make sure y'all got food and make sure that this roof ain't going nowhere, but you're also that shoulder that she needs. Men have to be able to be accountable, and I'm not saying like don't go cry to your wife or nothing like that, because that's a part of the reason why she's there. Like, you have to be with somebody that you can be vulnerable with. But the man has to be you have to be accountable. You have to take responsibility for your own mental health, and if you don't take responsibility for it, it's not her job to cater you to that point. She should not have to carry you to that point of being like responsible for your feelings. If you're responsible for that, you'll know before you get married, and you might want to hold off, because if not, you're gonna drive her crazy, because she's gonna be dragging you every time you catch an attitude, and I don't know a woman that wants to be deal with it.
Yeah, definitely.
You'll lose that woman's respect. My one of a pastor I had, he always used to tell us, like, a woman might always love you, but she can lose respect for you. And you got to think about it, like you said, it's your responsibility. You got to go all the way back. We're taking it back all the way to Adam. Who did God give responsibility to? He gave responsibility to Adam. And Eve, when she ate the fruit, wasn't the apple, but when she ate the fruit and she was deceived by the enemy, it wasn't until Adam ate the fruit that God was like, hey, where y'all at? Come here. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Adam, where are you? Where are you? It wasn't until he decided that he wasn't going to take up for his responsibility, because I believe if he would have, told Eve, no, God told us not to eat from that tree, whatever, and then took responsibility, I
Right.
would be butt naked and, weather, it would never be cold and it'll always be 74 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would just be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't have to worry about none of this. Food wouldn't have calories. You know what I'm saying? That's the first part of the downfall, man, is that food has calories. You know what I'm saying? That's that's
saturated fat.
Like, we messed up food forever because men not taking responsibility. Now food got calories. You know what I'm saying?
I cannot. Bro, I may have to bring your mama on mute because she dropped something really powerful, man. And so I like that.
Adam didn't listen, man. He did not listen.
You said what, Kat?
It's Adam's fault.
Yeah.
Food got calories.
You ain't gonna listen. I told you, I got my kings. I got my the fans' favorite on today. Okay, and one thing about these men that I love and that I appreciate, not only are they knowledgeable, they have wisdom, but they are huge on accountability. They're not quick to they trying to grabs. That they giving us a pass. No. They take accountability, and that's something that I really, really love. But if y'all wanted to continue to have Bible study, that's all y'all had to say. Yeah, if y'all wanted to have Bible study, that's all
it's
y'all
so
had
hard not to, because I'm telling you now, if you can look at any situation that's happening right now, you can trace it back to the garden. You can go back to anything. You can take everything back to Genesis.
That's real.
Anything, you can go right back to Genesis. I was studying some crazy stuff, and I was like, it's in Genesis, but like the whole foundation, everything of where we are right now. You can, at one point, I couldn't even come out of there because it's right here.
This is why he got the name Bishop. Y'all think DeVay just got this name out of nowhere? No. Unmute Yourself. Last year, you go and check it out in season 1. He got elevated on every
round.
Hey, between him and Charles, I was just about to go sit on the back pew between him and Charles.
Him and Charles, we got to get Charles back in the building, man. But as always, brothers and kings and everybody that's tuning in, I appreciate y'all so much. But y'all know how we do. Kat, let the folks know how they can follow you and what you do.
Hey man, y'all can catch me on IG at Capture Moments. You know what I'm saying? I can handle anything you need, no matter how big, how small. Hit me up so we can capture that moment.
That's what I'm talking about. Steven, brother, let them know how they can follow you and what you do.
Right here in the corner, right here. This is my handle at SL Gaskins, GASKINS. You can follow me on every platform there besides TikTok, because I'm not young enough for TikTok. But yeah, you can find me there. And yeah, I do everything. Photography. I'm not as good as Kat, but I do photography and web design, graphics. Whatever you need. I come cut your grass if you got some money. So, it don't matter. Whatever you need, I can come do it.
Yes, the GOAT.
Literally the GOAT. Literally the GOAT.
Literally the GOAT. Today, Bishop, let them know how they can follow you, what you do, what you got going on.
So, I mean, really, my name is where you can find me everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I just made a new Twitter account, so don't pay attention to my follower account. But I just made a new Twitter, but you can follow me Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all at DeVay. You'll find me. Spelled DAVAY. A lot of people like to put that E right there. But I am a life coach now, so you can follow me there as well. Stay Well Life Coaching. So yeah.
Listen, ladies. Now listen here, ladies. Now my brother Kat and my brother Steven are married men. They lock down and they take it. You see how my brother just scratched right there? They lock down and taken. Okay. Now when it comes down to my bestie,
this one right here.
He's single. All right. He don't got no ring. Okay. Yes, I said bestie. So if y'all wake up, I'm in the picture.
Tell
Okay.
him.
I am in the picture.
Make it known.
But don't be trying to talk about, oh, my life is just so, it's just so stressful and trying to
I need a life coach.
I need
Yeah.
a life
I need a
coach.
life coach.
Here's the
Y'all
link to my website. We can book an appointment.
ain't gonna take away no money from my bestie, but don't be making up problems. Like soap operas, okay? Don't be making up problems. We don't do that. We already had enough in 2020. And listen, y'all, listen. And as always, I am your girl, Derry. Look, man, I am trying to do some big things. Mute Yourself is trying to do some big things. So please, you can cash app us, UnmuteYS, $1, 50 cents, $2, whatever it is. Your girl will be thankful for, okay? Please just help us out. We're trying to do bigger and better things. And I always love y'all. As always, stay on for prayer. Bishop, take us out. You started Bible study. Take us out.
Dear God, we thank you for this time tonight that you've allowed us to gather together. We thank you for the things that have been revealed tonight, Father, the things that you have made known tonight, Father. We pray that the words that were spoken, Father, that they will fall on good ground. Father, we pray against everything that would try to take away the words that you have spoken tonight. We ask that you would continue to build us up as men, Father. Help us to be the true leaders of a household and not barbarians, God. And we ask, Lord, that you would even cover those men and cover that man who doesn't feel like he has anywhere to go, Father. I pray that you would connect him to the right people in the right places, God, that would unlock that part of him that he's been holding on to for so long, Father. We pray for release, God. I thank you for my brothers that have been on this line tonight that have shared, God, for Kid and for Stephen, Father. I pray right now, Lord, that you would even continue to expand them, God, that you would continue to enlarge them, Father, and make them stronger men, God, and make them better men, God, even for their lives and for their children, God, and the children to come, Father. We thank you for dear God for even giving us this platform, giving us this place to be able to come to break the barriers and to break the stigma of what it means to be a man and to expose the truth about when you created us, why did you create us, and what our roles are even within the earth, God. So we thank you for everything that is happening, Father, and we ask that you would continue to go with us even as we depart tonight, Father, that you would speak to us on this night. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Yes, Bishop. Yes. And as always, you guys, remember what your sisters tell you. Stay positive, test negative. Love y'all.